Sex sells, and it always has. A glance at a perfume commercial reveals bodies moving in slow, deliberate grace, their skin glistening under soft light. An influencer's post captures a fleeting, intimate smile, a carefully curated moment of vulnerability tied to a new brand of lingerie. Turn the page of a magazine. A car advertisement features a woman whose gaze promises more than just a smooth ride. Even ancient tribal art, with its unadorned figures and ceremonial paint, speaks a language of vitality, fertility, power. These images, separated by centuries and continents, all tap into a single potent human current. They command our attention by appealing to something deep within us. But why does this strategy remain so relentlessly effective, and what does it truly sell? The answer is not as simple as the phrase suggests. The formula is not just about placing a beautiful body next to a product. It is a sophisticated language of suggestion, a carefully constructed narrative that bypasses our rational minds and speaks directly to our emotions, our memories, and our deepest insecurities. It works because it promises a transformation. It whispers that by buying this watch, this fragrance, or this lifestyle, we can become more desirable, more confident, more alive. It sells a solution to the fundamental human fear of being unseen, unheard, and unwanted. The transaction is never just about the object. It is about the feeling the object is meant to evoke, a feeling powerfully linked to our primal wiring for connection and attraction. Long before the invention of advertising, the human body was a canvas for storytelling. In tribal communities across the globe, nudity and adornment were not tools of commerce, but powerful visual symbols that communicated complex social meanings. A body painted for a ceremony could signify a rite of passage from childhood to adulthood. It could signify a warrior's readiness for battle, or it could signify a dancer's role in a spiritual ritual. Bare skin was often a marker of purity. Bare skin could signal strength. Bare skin could show a direct connection to the natural world. These images were not meant to be consumed in private. They were public declarations of identity, public declarations of status, public declarations of collective belief. A young woman's elaborate hairstyle might signal her availability for marriage. A man's scars could narrate his history of bravery and survival. This use of the body as a narrative device was foundational. It established a visual vocabulary where physical form was intrinsically linked to power, linked to health, linked to social belonging. This human tendency to decode meaning from appearance provided fertile ground for what was to come. When the printing press, and later photography, emerged, they offered new ways to replicate and distribute these visual cues to a mass audience. Marketers in the late 19th and early 20th centuries realized the potential of this inherited language. They borrowed its power to imbue products with significance they didn't inherently possess. The first forays into desire in print were often subtle, constrained by social mores. The reason these images hold such sway over us lies deep within the architecture of the human brain. Our minds are hardwired for efficiency, creating mental shortcuts to process the overwhelming amount of information we encounter daily. One of the most powerful shortcuts is the connection between visual stimuli and our brain's reward system. When we see something we find aesthetically pleasing, be it a symmetrical face, a healthy-looking body, a vibrant landscape, our brain releases a small amount of dopamine, the neurotransmitter tied to pleasure, motivation, reward. This is a primal biological response honed by evolution to help us identify potential mates, healthy allies, safe environments. Advertisers exploit this reflex with surgical precision. They craft images to trigger that dopamine release, creating a fleeting moment of pleasure. This happens through classical conditioning, much like Pavlov's experiments with dogs. Over time, repeated exposure links the brand, the neutral stimulus, with the attractive image, the unconditioned stimulus. Eventually, the brand alone can trigger a faint echo of that original positive feeling, making us more likely to choose it in a store aisle. The global marketplace for beauty and fashion is not a closed system. It is a dynamic and often turbulent river of cultural exchange. African, indigenous, other tribal cultures have flowed into the mainstream, profoundly influencing what the world considers beautiful, stylish, and desirable. This exchange is not a new phenomenon, but its speed and scale have been dramatically amplified by modern media and commerce. The intricate braiding patterns of West Africa, the bold geometric beadwork of the Maasai people in Kenya, the facial markings of indigenous tribes in the Amazon have all found their way onto international runways, into magazine editorials, and across social media feeds. This flow can be a source of incredible creativity and cross-cultural appreciation. When approached with respect and understanding, this cultural exchange can enrich the global aesthetic vocabulary. It can challenge a narrow Eurocentric standard of beauty by introducing new forms, textures, and silhouettes to a wider audience. In such cases, the movement of a style is not an act of theft, but a dialogue where the beauty and meaning of a tradition are honored and shared, not simply copied for commercial gain. However, this exchange frequently crosses the line into cultural appropriation, where the aesthetic is stripped of its original context and meaning and sold as an exotic commodity. For the source community, this can feel like a profound violation, a piece of their identity stolen, devalued, and sold back by a powerful outside entity that reaps rewards without sharing history or respect. This process is particularly fraught when it involves aesthetics tied to the human body, cherry-picking traits, repackaging them on non-marginalized bodies, and profiting while originals still face discrimination. In the world of high fashion, the use of desire is both an art form and a core business strategy. Consider the advertising campaigns for luxury perfumes. Chanel No. 5, Dior's J'adore. The commercials rarely, if ever, describe the scent of the fragrance. Instead, they present a cinematic vignette, a famous actress navigating a glamorous party, sharing a smoldering look with a stranger, walking confidently through a golden landscape. The product is almost an afterthought. What is being sold is the fantasy, the promise that a spritz of this liquid can imbue the wearer with elegance, mystery, seductive power. As the celebrity on screen, the bottle becomes a totem. Film and television have long been powerful engines for shaping our collective ideals of attraction. White, thin, able-bodied actors, leading lady and leading man archetypes. A classic scene becomes a cultural touchstone for romance and desire. Studios know that casting conventionally attractive actors and including romantic or sexually charged subplots can significantly broaden a film's appeal, drawing in viewers who are as invested in the relationships as they are in the plot. The rise of social media has democratized and personalized the business of desire. Influencers have become the new tastemakers, building careers on intimacy and authenticity. A seemingly candid photo in a swimsuit. The caption speaks self-love, but the image is a carefully constructed advertisement. The connection feels personal. This blurs the line between genuine expression and paid promotion, making the sell even more effective. Followers aren't just buying a swimsuit, they are buying into the lifestyle and perceived happiness of the influencer they admire. The use of desire as a commercial tool walks a perilously thin line between empowerment and exploitation. The same image can often be interpreted as both. Many see leveraging appearance as power and agency. Choosing to participate can be an exercise of personal freedom. The key from this view: consent, control, fair compensation. Visibility can be revolutionary, challenging restrictive beauty norms and creating space for others. But idealized bodies can harm mental and physical health. Comparison, eating disorders, low self-esteem, unrealistic standards, especially for young people. Even for those who succeed, pressure to maintain appearance leads to extreme dieting, grueling workouts, risky cosmetic procedures. The system objectifies, reducing humanity to a marketable attribute. At its core, it is about economics, a calculated strategy to generate profit, and the numbers are staggering. Beauty, hundreds of billions. Fashion, trillions. Global ad spend, over $1 trillion annually. Corporations and shareholders are primary beneficiaries. Profit isn't from the image itself, but from millions of small transactions the image inspires. Meanwhile, consumers and society pay hidden costs, higher prices, public health impacts, environmental damage, and cultural loss. In the end, the simple phrase "sex sells" reveals itself to be a complex truth: history, psychology, economics. This mechanism is not merely about nudity or suggestive poses. It is about the sophisticated craft of selling feelings. It began in ritual, was co-opted by the printed page, the silver screen, and now the digital feeds that populate our daily lives. It is a tool of art. It is a tool of sale, a potential path to empowerment, and a well-worn road to exploitation. As we navigate a world saturated with these images, we are not powerless. Who created this image? Who is profiting from my attention? Who might be harmed? Is this selling a product or an insecurity? We can support respectful exchange, challenge appropriation, and advocate for broader, more inclusive beauty. The allure of desire is timeless, embedded in biology and society, but our understanding can evolve. We can teach the next generation to read images without absorbing their sales pitch. Desire is timeless, but it is also a billion-dollar business. The more we understand how it operates, the more power we have to shape its influence. The gaze will always be there. We can choose how we meet it.